Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be playing through the 3.3 Genshin Impact Interlude chapter. Last time we played through the 3.2 one, it was the finale I believe with SCARAMOUCHE and everything like that, and most of it has been resolved, so if you want to watch that video it will appear in the top right corner of the screen. If you do enjoy this video, if you want to see more, be sure to let me know down in the comments below, and if you want to join us, it is twitch.tv/Anthony Chen. Now of course, we are trying to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel by the end of the year. So if you do enjoy, please consider liking the video and subscribing, as that would mean a lot to me, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you, and here we go.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
This dude does not sound happy.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatara-Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Tatara, you mean the island? That we never completed the quest for?
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Takes me back to my college days.
Yes, you came to me. So all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Okay, but...
What is going on here?
You just mentioned Tatara-Suna? But that's all the way in Inazuma. Is it just Paimon, or is it kind of unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here is just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything.
Let's go listen in. Are we eavesdropping?
Great. Let's go find out what this Tatara-Suna mystery is all about.
Okay, I guess we're eavesdropping. Inversion of Genesis. People are trying to research about Inazuma here. Wonder who could be from Inazuma that they're researching. I wonder.
I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
Me? If you're looking for the traveler, that's me.
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
He's doubtful.
Don't believe us?
If you don't believe me, I'll go.
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma.
Oh, this guy's from Inazuma.
This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
So he was checking us out?
So what, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social
No worries.
Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatara-Suna?
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
I see.
Sorry, I can't be of help this time.
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatara-Suna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatara-Suna.
What? Did you just cut him off?
Sawada, don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi.
What the?
Why? Well, no one knows.
Wait, what?
Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger. Someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
An eccentric stranger.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kabuki mono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kind of fishy to Paimon.
You don't say.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow, did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the government records office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago.
400 years?
Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Could it be?
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in this story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier.
Yeah,
So
of course.
Basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art.
Is this just like a huge exposition dump? Am I supposed to know this already, or?
Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
Somehow.
Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh boy, there's more?
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
Please do.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabuki Mono was not a human, but a puppet.
Whoa, I got it. Wait. Okay, I'm done. Wow, crazy.
A puppet?
The Shogun puppet that the Electro Archon made should be ruling Inazuma with her as we speak. It couldn't be her. The Kabuki Mono has to be the balladeer. But what was he doing 400 years ago in Tatarasuna? I can read.
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
Glare at Paimon and hope she keeps her mouth shut.
No! Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
Uh-huh.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
I can read. Do I need to read all of this? What is this gonna do exactly? It's important. Okay, well, I'm gonna read this. If you don't want to watch this on YouTube, you can skip to this timestamp right here. A man arrived in Tatarasuna around 3 in the afternoon. From afar, he spied laborers walking along the mountain roads towards the factories, their shoes scuffing along the jutting stones. They walked like people convinced that so long as they reached the fire raging in the mountain's belly, they might extract from it gems beyond price. The mood that the sight inspired was ineffable. Ineffable. Yeah, beyond mere description for those not present to witness it. The man barked a cheerful greeting and sprinted to join the procession. There, a towering character who stood half a head taller greeted him with a heavy slap on the back, and yet his words were filled with respect. Do my eyes deceive me, Sir Miyazaki? I cannot think that the return trip from Inazuma City could have been easy on you. Miyazaki smiled like a young man taking the first steps on their journey. Expression relaxed. Why? Katsuragi, Inazuma is the realm of the almighty Shogun. I sailed upon the fastest ship, strode upon the swiftest sea routes. What dangers could I have possibly faced? And what about the good news? There was some, naturally. The two burst into uproarious laughter, roughhousing with the other workers until the path's end. A young man dressed in a linen shirt wearing a headscarf gazed into the dancing flames of the furnace before him. Now the flames of a forge are unlike any other, for their intensity affects the resulting integrity of both metal and blade. So too then was the flame watcher an unusual individual. At his fingertips sat a lizard, and on his face he wore a smile. The workshop was huge and the furnace was deeper within. A reasonable person might think that there should have been many working alongside the watcher, yet he stood alone. Only when Katsuragi and Miyazaki strode into the room did the watcher turn. This watcher was Niwa, armory officer and administrator of Tatarasuna. Born to the Niwa clan, which served as one of the three pillars of the Ishin art, Niwa never argued with his siblings and was a worthy successor by all accounts. The post he received as a result of his high standing with those in power served as a statement unto itself. Miyazaki handed a well-bundled text to Niwa as he adjusted his expression. It said, "It is as you have said, sir. The elders of your clan in the city do not think highly of our plan. Yet I still believe it to be worth a try. As such, I have found the proper vendors and procured the materials that you have requested." Niwa studied the text and nodded. "We should try some of these new forging techniques, whether Kaitahara says yay or nay." Katsuragi frowned with a sigh and said, "Forging is a precise and difficult undertaking. You know this better than most, sirs, and still you seek improvement each day with terrifying drive. Should my lord Nagasama hear this, the sourness in his face shall be hard to miss." Niwa smiled, replying, "How far and how goes the forging of your lord's great blade, Katsuragi?" Katsuragi neither wanted to shame his master nor lie to the two friends, and yet he could not think of any other way to deflect, and so he groused, "I see your ears are keen as your hands, Sir Niwa. The jokes of us unlearned men are nothing before you." Miyazaki held his grin. Upon hearing this, Niwa released the lizard from his hand into Katsuragi's palm, but just as more words were to be exchanged, someone came walking nearby, their footsteps light with the celerity of youth. The head that peeked in was round and in the light of the fires looked like an oiled jewel. The young man placed some boxed food at the side, and nodding, he prepared to leave. Katsuragi called out to him, "What about your share? Aren't you gonna eat it?" The young man, upon hearing those words, found himself slightly at a loss. After a while, he answered, "Very well, I'll try it." "You are welcome to eat the food. We all eat the same fare, after all," Niwa said. The man nodded and left, seemingly deep in thought. The kabuki mono was by the coast. Sunset fell to the accompaniment of darkness? That's a word? The bands of twilight showed themselves not, for in their place did thunderclouds roil, grumbling the omens of a coming rainstorm. Darkness filled the flesh of the sea, and the dusk blade bade the clouds to kneel upon the land, its supplication mirroring the kabuki mono, with knees bent and face pointed towards the water. None passed that way, and none knew what he was waiting for in silence. Time passed unmeasured and uncounted, till a black cloud suddenly tore free from the sky and began to circle the kabuki mono, bearing down on him like a nightmare. Though he was not aware at first, after his studying gaze was refined by time, he understood. This cloud had marked him from the very start. Outbound, a fishing boat drew near, the lights of its bow flickering in and out of sight beneath the falling sheets of rain. A mist unspooled across the area, stealing sight from the fisherman. Repeatedly, he exclaimed, "It is but dusk. How are my eyes darkened? Is there anyone that can deliver my boat upon safe tides?" Like a falling spear, the black cloud reached the bottom of the boat and was joined in its bareness of direction. Like a charging beast, they plunged into the shoreline. Scant steps away, the Kabukimono stood idle, slanting his head to study the grand wreck. Not but half an arm was left of the one who had cried out for help, and with a plop, it landed at the Kabukimono's feet. He crouched to better study the object, straining against the urge to take a bite out of it. What? So the dude who was on the boat crashed into the shore. His arm was cut off, landed in front of Scaramouche, who crouched to better study the object, straining against the urge to take a bite out of it. Yet he did not, for the dark cloud swirling down had already picked the remnants of the ship clean. The Kabukimono stared at it blankly, like an awakening dreamer. When he returned to himself, the clouds had scattered, as if they had never been there at all. As for the ship, could it have been struck down by a storm? Who was to know? Not the Kabukimono. Katsuragi rushed to the doorway and shouted, "My lord, things go ill at the furnace. I have searched for Sir Niwa, but there is no trace of him. And much time has passed since Sir Miyazaki left to seek aid, but he has yet to send us any missive. Look." Mikoshi Nagasama turned slowly, his face grave as one attending a funeral. He spoke then, his words heavy-laden. "I wish not to say such words, Katsuragi, but Sir Miyazaki may never return." Katsuragi peered past Nagasama's broad, stiff shoulders beyond the windows. The clouds above boiled in waves of black, as if darkness now was the only weather, and might even morph into an abyssal beast and devour Tatarasuna whole. Over 10 people had already perished. That was why Katsuragi recoiled as if struck. Yes, it was coming back to him now, in dribs and drabs. That was why they had set out to seek aid. Miyazaki had been the first to set sail. The clouds had only just begun to form then. Traveling from Tatarasuna to Inazuma to ask for support was normally no great feat, and yet there had been no sign of his return. Then a second ship was sent, followed by a third and a fourth. So the Kabukimono himself had departed upon the tides. Under foul skies and ominous fortunes, it had been Katsuragi who had brought him back and treated him as his own. And it pained him greatly to see the lad go. Yet the situation in Tatarasuna was severe. Even should they sacrifice more lives, it would have been worth it to gain assistance from Inazuma City. So something went wrong in Tatarasuna, right? And so they sent people to go and try to get assistance from Inazuma? Was it like a disaster at the furnace? Because he said things go ill at the furnace. Niwa was gone and none could find him. Afterward, Nagasama led a search party into the mountains and the area around the furnace, all to no avail. Folk began to wonder if Niwa might have encountered an accident, but worry soon turned to suspicion, and they wondered if he had fled, unwilling to bear the sin of having caused these incidents. The people grew more suspicious, and Nagasama himself strained against his discontent and fury. His face had grown to resemble the rumbling clouds above. Suddenly, a figure flashed by. Their presence did not go unnoticed by Nagasama. He drew his blade and cut, though he only nicked the silken veil the intruder wore. For a moment, they swayed, and then, like a marionette pulled by strings, they moved behind Nagasama, laughing darkly. "Are you seeking someone, my lord? Niwa, perhaps?" Nagasama bellowed in fury. "You dare address Sir Niwa directly." Yet the figure parted like mist before his falling blade, only to rematerialize beyond reach, but not beyond sight. A ghastly apparition indeed. "Was it you who slew my people?" Nagasama howled and charged, held back only by Katsuragi's desperate grip. As his senses returned to him, he realized he was but an inch away from falling into the furnace. It seems like the rest of this work remains unfinished. From the existing text, however, it is apparent that this is a novel of fantastical, colorful sensibilities, born from an imagination well utilized. Oh, is it Nagamasa? Oh, it is Nagamasa. I'm sorry, I cannot read. Okay, so how much of this is truth, though? How much of this is real, and how much of this is, like, fake, then? Because if this is, like, technically some history, but also some imagination, I guess it's like it's a novel then, right?
Oh, And please read my essay draft.
Oh hell no! Okay, you can if you want to read this, you can go read this yourself. Okay, go ahead. Pause if you have to. Pause if you must read. I am not reading this. There you go. You can pause. If you want to read it. Here's the next section. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it.
So this was literally an exposition dump, like in its fullest. Not just through dialogue, but through text as well.
Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Is he making stuff up now in his factual essay?
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Yeah, sounds more like a novel. Has this guy ever written an essay before?
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
Mm-hmm.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Very, very interesting.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the balladeer, doesn't it?
Probably.
Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh?
Probably not.
After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't
We
it?
kicked his butt and got him locked up.
If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in...
What? What's wrong?
Did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like...
What the?
the balladeer. No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Paimon seeing things, bro. Oh my god. There's no way that's actually the balladeer, right? It has to be some sort of illusion? A mirage? Dude's just strolling about. He's in the sanctuary? Nahida? Hello. Oh, he is there. He's right here.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida, bad news. We just saw the balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah, it's him!
Uh-huh.
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey, what are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me.
Made a deal.
A deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Bro, he's so sassy.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down? But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. let him trick you.
Yes, because Nahida needs your advising, Paimon, because you definitely wouldn't be tricked by anyone.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us!
Okay, you need to chill out a bit, Paimon.
As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you, considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to
A
us.
strategic threat.
That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond. Wait a second. Former? You mean, he's not a Harbinger anymore? I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser.
God damn. He tossed you out like trash.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the Harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be.
Really? What a crying shame.
Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him!
Paimon, why does Paimon even have an opinion here, man?
Let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
So what did he agree to?
Nahida, are you serious about this? Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit.
Me?
Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul. Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today.
It was?
So, you have an update on that? Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am.
Descender.
He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect.
He almost became a god of a new era?
The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly.
What if he lies to you?
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him! I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all.
Uh-huh.
Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone
That was
who
deep.
counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it.
Thank you,
It's my
Nahida.
pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it. Paimon's still worried about this idea.
Okay.
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. It seems like we have a telepathic connection.
Telepathic connection, I see. Oh.
In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the
Oh.
Balladeer on my behalf.
So
while
we're
he
his
carries out the
babysitter.
task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside.
Glad to be able to help.
Great. Thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Oh boy, looks like we are spending the day as a babysitter.
Compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Nahida sent me to babysit you.
Shut your beak, jailbird.
Okay.
Prisoner gets to be so sad.
Oh my god.
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Oh my god, Paimon.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Mm-hmm. Hear that, Paimon?
Fine. Let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Uh-huh.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are going to be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
Okay.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going. Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Chat, you guys are down bad. Oh my god.
Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
Focus on doing your job.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Uh-huh. Sounds like something out of Star Wars.
Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow. So this is the inside of Irminsul.
Isn't this?
Ooh.
Oh, whoa.
Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Tevat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so say we did go running off in here. What would happen?
Why?
What are you smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
I mean, I do get like why Paimon is saying stuff like that. I mean, obviously, he is a Fatui Harbinger. Can't really be trusted, even though you guys think he's like immensely hot or super down bad for him or something. But I mean, enemy is an enemy, and he's tried to kill us before, so.
Be careful not to touch them.
Her side of your point of view is kind of justified. I would say trust Nahida a bit more, though. That is what I think Paimon should do. It's okay, we can change him? Okay.
It looks the same in every direction.
Damn, this place is crazy. Friends with Tartag? I don't think we're friends with Tartag, right?
Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little?
Gee, look at that thing.
We're here.
What a huge tree!
This is the center of Irminsul. All of the information in the world is flowing through it.
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
Uh-huh.
The Balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
He hasn't put up any resistance and seems good at working on the front line. Maybe he had a similar role in the Fatui. First Akuba and Sawada's stories, now this. What a strange individual.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Whoa, it's like a waterfall.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do. Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk?
Talk? About what? Is this a telepathic conversation?
Yes. I've also invited Paimon to join.
Invited? Wait, is this like a... It's like a Discord call? Like a group DM? They're group DMing through telepathy?
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
I'm guessing that you don't want us to disturb the Balladeer.
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
So this actually is like a group chat.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladier's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
It's true. Yes, and he seems to excel at doing odd jobs for others.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers.
Is it about his past, the betrayals, and the other events in Inazuma?
Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
Actually, I caught a glimpse of a few things when I ran into Hypatia at Paradis Dia. Dia?
So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today. Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Uh-huh.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon. Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that? If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that. Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatara Suna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
You tell Nahida about the story.
Oh? How
What if we just kicked him in?
Those two
It's just like
managed
water?
to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone. So the Gesse got it right?
The guess, eh?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatara Suna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
Oh my god.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
This guy.
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation.
We have every right to keep certain things confidential. Bro, Nahida messed up on the perms. He could still see the VC. He just couldn't join.
Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Great save, Paimon.
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait, how did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you.
Every conversation with you is hard work, but your attitude is better than I thought.
Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage.
This is a cool fanny pack.
Huh? Wait.
Wait. Oh.
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Anonymous?
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Shush, 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 shush.
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
Tatara Suna again.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
That name, Niwa was the man in charge at Tatara Suna. Plus, he belongs to the lineage of Ishin art.
Whoa!
But, bruh, what? Oh, whoa, what the? Oh.
I have been
POV?
in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place. Like a giant village. People are gainfully employed. Their lives have purpose. They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown. All passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every
Whoa.
smith brought into
Dude's
this
in a
trade
suit.
looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma. and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
Escher.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
Oh?
My good sir, what do you mean?
Is this really the truth?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way.
What does that mean?
What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate.
Oh?
And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine.
From Fontaine?
Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Okay, come on. Get to the point. What's going on here?
Enough, Escher.
Oh?
I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatarasuna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Oh?
A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
Oh?
You...
Oh?
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start.
My background? So who is this guy?
It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all.
But?
And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatarasuna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Wait! Niwa's the boy from SCARAMOUCHE's backstory?
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment.
And oh my god, that means Dodore is old as heck. This dude is so old.
If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
Because this was 400 years ago. Oh my goodness.
The Fatui? Who? What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Oh my god.
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us. He has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity.
Oh my god.
Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Oh my god.
Hey, are you alright?
Dottore. Dottore! Good. Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine?
He was the one behind the Tatarasuna incident.
But why did we see things from his perspective? When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
This betrayal was a lie that he has believed for hundreds of years. Was this part of the doctor's experiment? If the betrayal never happened, it existed only in his imagination. But where does this leave him?
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now. We need to give him some time to process his emotions. Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up? Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as a mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began.
Katsuragi took SCARAMOUCHE to live with the people, and the doctor showed up with his experiment.
It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process.
Put Niwa's heart into the device?
The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it has protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back. Holy moly! So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Being betrayed and abandoned by a close friend is sure to cause great resentment. Now we know what was behind his decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokudan 100 years ago. But it doesn't mean that vengeance was the right decision.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Tottori, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Do I just wait? Oh. A while later.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend.
We just want to make sure this doesn't affect the plan.
It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Tevat. Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Not unexpected, but still, thank you.
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world.
Conria?
Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
Summoning? So someone summoned them?
The heavens responded?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your brother for a time.
The Jester, another Fatui Harbinger. But why?
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this.
All of the Fatui Harbingers are hella old.
Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
What do you want to know?
Give me your hand.
Uh-huh.
Can you hear my voice inside your head?
Are you trying to brainwash me?
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
Change the past? Time travel? Why would you ask that?
Done.
Huh? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking her for helping me.
Wait, that look. Did he see me hesitate? But that was because I know about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. I think by
So
now.
long.
Wait, what?
I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
He's just leaving? I didn't even get to read the dialogue.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Balladeer, stop!
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow.
So he's gonna erase himself.
Oh no, he's really gone. Oh, can you hear me? Nahida! Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power. It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
You tell Nahida everything that happened.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
We're out! And we're at, an inn or something?
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you.
Isn't there anything I can do?
I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe.
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake
What
the
is
feeling
going
that
on?
Something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before?
Paimon doesn't remember Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, and the Balladeer's question was a strange one. It's hard to explain in full, and the truth might be very distressing for Paimon. I'll skip the part about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata for now, and focus on the Balladeer. You tell Paimon what the Balladeer asked you and what he might have been planning.
He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible.
It's not easy, that's for sure.
Right! You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it.
Yeah. Sure.
So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do. Oh, Paimon's so confused.
Maybe he wants to erase himself from history.
Huh?
Bruh.
Sorry, Paimon accidentally... It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress.
Yeah.
But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul?
I'm just guessing here.
Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up to. And it's still not working.
When does it ever, though?
Ugh. Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him. There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too?
Indeed, if the Balladeer does erase himself from Irminsul, many people in Inazuma will be affected. I can't imagine what that situation would look like. Worst case scenario, it will affect everyone with a connection to the Raiden Gokudan, Kazuha, Ayaka, Ayato. Will this mean that they'll disappear?
There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight. So, how about, we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things? That doesn't work. Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Oh, and chicken mushroom skewers. Tea break pancakes. Cream stew. Sauteed matsutake. And Dragon chili chicken. Almond tofu. Satisfying salad. Oh, also Adeptus Temptation. Golden shrimp balls. Triple layered consomme. Lotus seed and bird egg soup. And...
Yeah. And what? Paimon, what's wrong?
What are we... What was Paimon supposed to be doing just now? Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about. What was it again?
You were getting so worried about the situation with the balladeer that you started listing foods.
The balladeer?
Oh,
Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name though.
oh. Paimon doesn't remember the balladeer? That must mean he actually pulled it off? But how did he have that ability? This doesn't make sense.
What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said?
No, it's nothing.
So, the balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something.
If this is really happening, I need to know what else has changed.
Okay, sure. Where are we going?
I want to go back to Inazuma.
Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting like this is an emergency.
Now's not the time to explain. Okay, guess we go to Inazuma. What could have changed here? Isn't history just gonna stay the same? It's just that everything that was connected to him is just gonna get like rewritten as like some other explanation. Like, just because Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was erased doesn't mean like everything she did was gone, right? They simply just thought that it was Kusanali. So history itself isn't actually, like, the actions aren't gonna be different, I don't think. Oh.
We've made it to Amanoma Smithy.
Ah, it's been a while.
I'd like to ask a question.
Of course. Go ahead.
About the Raiden Gokudan, could you tell me that story one more time?
Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. I'll tell you what I know once more. The once renowned Raiden Gokudan, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline, and for a long time, only the Amenoma branch kept its art alive. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, 2 clans remain of the original Gokudan 5. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Yeah, I remember doing that quest.
Oh yeah, we were. Paimon remembers that now.
Yeah.
We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokudan then too. It seems like such a shame.
What was the reason behind their decline?
That, my friends, is a tragic tale indeed. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaedehara Kazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokudan, it was right that I should know the truth. There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful tale. The Raiden Gokudan were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful bladesmith?
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan.
Hyakume clan?
His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire circumstances.
The legend of the Raiden Gokuden has changed. Someone else attacked the swordsmiths. It looks like the balladeer did something in Irminsul, but it seems Niwa still died.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Have you seen Kazuha recently?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. He seemed well.
So he still exists, and he's the same Kazuha I know. Things don't seem as bad as I feared last night.
My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? Your expression says it all. You can't hide anything from Paimon. On to the next stop. Lead the way, traveler. Paimon will be right behind you.
Yeah, so nothing really changed. It's just like the events leading up to like the actual history is different, but you know, the outcome is still the same, right? Instead of the balladeer taking revenge, it's this unhinged psycho, I guess.
We're here. This is the Yashiro Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler, it's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate. They're not here right now.
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
Thank you, we'll take you up on that offer. Can we take a walk in the courtyard?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
Wow, we're special.
We'll be heading in then. Thanks!
What do we want to know, though? Oh.
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say?
Is there, ma'am, can I ask you a couple of questions?
Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss
That sounds so
Kamisato
creepy.
has told me about you. What would you like to know?
How are the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato these days?
Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all kinds of meetings and occasionally paying visits to some local organizations on the Commissioner's behalf. As for the Commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever. That much hasn't changed. Although he does seem to be in a rather good mood these days.
So pretty much business as usual in the Yashiro Commission, huh?
Very much so.
Ayato is still the Yashiro Commissioner. Ayaka is still the Lady of the House. No changes there. As far as I can see, nothing's changed in the Yashiro Commission either. I was expecting as much, but it's still a big relief to know that the Kamisato siblings are both safe and well.
Well, got any more questions?
That's it for now. For now? What the? That's it for now. Many thanks.
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than for you to come and visit more often. But I'm sure you must be far too busy to have time for that. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend, and she's always saying how talented you are and how much she admires you. I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here. So you're not just Miss Kamisato's knight in shining armor, you know. You're a hero to us all.
I'm flattered.
Alright, goodbye for now. Where are we going next?
To Tarasuna.
Great! Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out.
All right, then. Take care now. Hope to see you soon.
Oh my god, why? Sounds a little creepy.
Are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travels. Goodbye.
Well. Oh. Taurus, you mean the island? That we never completed the quest for? No! No! No way! No way! All right, YouTube, we're back. I completed the quest, and it's okay. Let's get a move on. We are supposed to, and we're supposed to look for clues. Okay, let's keep going. Totally didn't have to speed run that entire quest section just now. Definitely not. Oh, fancy seeing you here.
Well, here we are. But what are we looking for? Something or someone?
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the Traveler and Paimon?
Oh my god.
Xavier, what are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area.
Okay,
There,
thanks.
That's me. So what about you two?
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Do you know much about Tatarasuna?
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away.
How well do you understand the history of this area?
Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake, I have been
Very
here a
funny.
good many times before. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true, the history here.
Go on.
Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts a long time ago. I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation, goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too.
A guy back there?
They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that?
Oh, I don't know about an upgrade, but... Mechanic, looks like the doctor still sabotaged the furnace, leading to all the ensuing chaos.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatarasuna? Come on, ask already.
I am.
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history exam or something.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge?
Pretty much. So can I ask one more question?
Sure, go ahead.
Have you ever heard of a kabuki mono connected to Tatarasuna?
A kabuki mono? No, I can't say that I have. I do know the word, Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatarasuna is concerned.
So there's no more kabuki mono. Did the balladeer really manage to erase himself from history completely? If so, he must have wanted to change the world and revert everything back to the way it was. But so far, it seems like the majority of changes have only affected himself.
Of course! Don't mention it.
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye, Xavier.
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
I wonder what Paimon is thinking right now then. I'm surprised she's not like questioning us here. And also, when we went into Irminsul, like, did she think we just went alone then? Like, what is her memory of us going into Irminsul and like looking for the information with the balladeer?
Sure, but what's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's really troubling you. Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there for you.
Thank you, Paimon.
Hey, don't mention it. Alright, let's head off and go meet Nahida.
Interesting. So seems like his plan isn't exactly, hasn't exactly worked out for him the way that he expected it to. Oh, nope, not doing that quest. not doing the Tatarasuna quest anymore.
Hey, it's them.
It's them? Me? Hi? Can I help you?
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Are you still talking about the essay?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
It's the same topic we discussed last time. Obviously.
This guy's very enthusiastic.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join them?
Perfect. These two have researched Tatarasuna's past. Let's hear what they have to say.
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress.
The article that you let me read last time was great. Can I read it again?
Huh? Oh, of course.
Yellow part. Yokai, something, reportedly immigration, forged ties, foreign mechanic. Some tried to turn them away. Mechanic stared in the furnace, check on its condition, spent a substantial amount of time watching the residents, cross-cultural exchanges. However, some residents attempting to theorize how it should unfold. Mechanic. Oh, long have I delved through many texts and documents, but I was ultimately unable to decipher even a specter of a clue as to his background. Still, mentions of the mechanic grew scarcer in the aftermath of the Tatarasuna incident. I speculate that instead of the mechanic possibly being a figure woven from overripe imaginations, he actually did exist and perhaps even had a hand in the events that took place in Tatarasuna. Interesting.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well.
Okay. What's different here? Wait, why is this part highlighted? Oh wait, no, this is different. He doesn't the man. Oh wait, it's a stranger now. It says a stranger, a foreign mechanic. So the Kabukimono is no longer in here. Yeah. The content has changed, another effect of tampering with the information in Irminsul. The Balladeer said he'd erased 2 of his names. If he really succeeded, it must have taken all his might, but still...
Well, what do you think?
A masterpiece.
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about we tell them what we learned?
Sure.
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma, and...
Oh, thank God it's summarized.
Wow. So many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Amanoma clan, you say? Then I guess it must be true. Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
I mean...
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator, as a way of exacting revenge against those in power.
Uh-huh.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with my novel.
He's so defensive, bro.
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
Well...
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you.
Dude, the sun's set already.
Thank you so much for the information.
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
Alright, well, it looks like the background of Tatarasuna is different as well, as expected, but let's see what Nahida has to say. There she is.
Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon, how have you been?
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then she decided she wanted to go to Inazuma.
I was investigating the situation with the Balladeer. Does Nahida remember?
The Balladeer?
Oh.
It sounds like some kind of code name.
She doesn't remember, so we are literally the only one.
You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me?
Even Nahida doesn't remember. Just like last time, any changes to Irminsul affect her as well. The Balladeer acted quickly. He finished erasing himself before Nahida could stop him. I'm the only one who still remembers the things that were erased. Once again, I am the record keeper. Hold up. Spoilers alert for the Spider-Man movie that came out, like, when was it, like last year? But wait, isn't this this is literally the plot of the Spider-Man movie? If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, right? This is literally that. Oh my god.
Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
There are things that have happened that only I can remember. I have to tell you the truth. With a heavy heart, you pieced back together the story that was broken and scattered across time. There was once... Wait, there was once named the ballad... There There was once named the Balladeer. There was once named the Balladeer. Oh, wait. I actually cannot read. There was once one named the Balladeer. Okay, that makes more sense. Created by the Electro Archon. He was a puppet who lived among men. How could I not see the one? What the? Oh my god. After a series of events in Tatarasuna, the Balladeer, thinking he had been thrice betrayed, left Inazuma to roam the world beyond. With no trust for humans and only loathing for the gods, he bore his grudge for years as he grew in strength, then returned to Inazuma to take his revenge. He tried in vain to become a deity with a gnosis and ended up losing everything. Finally, he entered Irminsul and learned the truth behind his betrayal. Knowing now that his entire life was built on lies, he did the unthinkable in an attempt to reverse his tragic fate.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
But how was he even able to do that?
As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it.
Yeah, so that entire previous Archon quest that we played through is literally just like invalid. It's just like gone from everyone's memory. Like, I wonder what they remember, because SCARAMOUCHE played such an important part in it, and he's just erased now. Like, what?
Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality.
It was retcon for everyone but us.
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because, well, because he literally changed the world?
Well, you don't remember him.
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the kind of person who would dare go through with it. The traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about her in Irminsul. And it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect her. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
You can say that again.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it?
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that.
I'm not really sure. We were enemies after all. I don't know his perspective on all of this, so I can't say why he did something so extreme. Did he want to reset everything or save someone? Or did he want to completely undo his existence? Everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all. Maybe that's all there is to it. I still remember the question he asked. He asked me specifically, and my hesitation gave him his answer. I hesitated because I witnessed Greater Lord Rukkhadevata erase her own existence, but I can't tell Nahida that. To put it another way, I know why the Balladeer was so sure it could work, but I can't tell them that.
Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share?
He chose such a radical option, yet...
It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right? Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. The story makes sense. Every part of it.
Damn, he came to that conclusion so fast though.
The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
He changed the world in many ways, and yet the dead still didn't get a second chance. Those fated to a tragic end could not be saved. What exactly did he want to fight back against? The betrayals in his life? Or did he wish he'd never existed at all?
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it. This should be the one.
Oh, what the? What's that?
It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything she has told us.
What is it?
A record from a personal
Rubik's
collection.
Cube.
It was tucked away in a corner.
A personal collection?
You should take a look.
Surprisingly, the information presented to you in a way that resembles a fairy tale.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
This matches everything I said.
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the Balladeer?
When combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information about the Balladeer or the Kabuki Mono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact.
Huh?
Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the Balladeer entered Irminsul.
That's incredible! What a great idea!
And sending the Traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew she'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul.
But what is the story?
But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one she told us. The now erased life of the Balladeer.
Since it was a creation of Nahida, nothing changed. No, that's not how it works, I don't think. It still changed, but apparently she wrote it in a way that was so obscure that even if you like change out the Balladeer's name, or even if he erases his name and it's replaced by something else, with the information the Traveler remembers, you can still piece it together and it tells the true story. Yeah, kind of like in code, I guess. Which is kind of OP if you think about it. Like, so I guess she was just prepared for this moment and took countermeasures already, but I guess.
There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster, It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it.
What the?
The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story.
She remembers.
It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
I've never had this feeling before. It feels like life is as insignificant as a feather.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahita's right. Cheer up! How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again later.
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take her out for a walk to clear her head?
You got it! Come on, Traveler! You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk. Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our spirits. It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
I mean, that fairy tale that they had, or that Nahida wrote, was actually a pretty good description. Well, damn. Scaramouche does have a pretty sad backstory. Cannot lie. But what does this mean, and how is this going to be concluded?
We're here! What should we eat first?
I have a nagging feeling like there's something I'm missing, something important that I'm forgetting.
Hey, are you gonna answer or what?
Sorry, it's just give me a minute. I'm still processing.
Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat.
Come on, brain, let's dig this out. It's gotta be in there somewhere. It was something about Irminsul and deleting oneself. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, forbidden knowledge, Nahida.
What is it? Have you figured it all out?
Oh, wait. Okay. Yes, that was it. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. She said that no one can erase themselves from existence, not even her. Otherwise, why would she need to create her own reincarnation in Lesser Lord Kusanali to do the deletion for her? There would be no point.
Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
No, I can't tell Paimon. She doesn't know about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. But this is a crucially important detail. It's simply not possible for the balladeer to completely erase his own existence. In which case, the question is, what happened to him?
Excuse me, boss.
Oh.
There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Bro? He's selling watermelons? He's selling watermelons at the bazaar?
Hey, wait!
You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsettias and ran off. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? The work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
He's a watermelon vendor.
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something?
That guy is the balladeer.
He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsettias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsettias, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now?
Let's follow him.
Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let him see you.
Ah, yes, out of sight. Very much out of sight.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsetias? Isn't that a bit too cruel?
Shush.
Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back.
You found Sunsetias there? I wasn't seeing this with my own eyes. I would never believe it.
Huh? You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us!
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice.
You're right, we were following you.
Have we met before?
Oh my god, those Sunsetias are huge.
No, we haven't met. But you know me? I have no recollection.
It's complicated, but I do know you.
Are you absolutely sure?
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
I can prove it. You're a puppet.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
Huh?
You were right. The look on his face.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important.
There's somewhere I want to take you to.
Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Uh-huh.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
And let's
Sure.
return to the city.
Sus. He's sus. Also, what the? This isn't even a Sunsetia tree. Where do you find those from?
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I
What?
get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
But I don't...
Hmm?
No, you're right. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
Thank you. All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
All right, Nahida. What's going on?
Nahida! What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. So, yeah, quite an eventful walk.
You tell Lesser Lord Kusanali what happened in the Grand Bazaar.
You say that you are trekking across to Vat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja. Why do you refer to yourself as a wanderer?
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called previous incarnation.
Oh, like a past life or something?
Yes, something far more distant than the past. So far away that you cannot perceive it.
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation?
Is she gonna give him his memories?
Oh, okay. I see. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation.
We're just trying to think where to start.
If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear, but I'll be able to handle it. Please, tell me the truth.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart.
That's kind of cold to tell him that.
Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
Nahida tells Wanderer about his past.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
We were enemies.
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street!
Yeah, I mean, yeah, actually.
He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything. What a weird situation.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
She's gonna show him?
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
If she gives him all of his memories, isn't he just gonna be the same person?
I'm just a puppet, with no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
Very well. As you wish.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing him here.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Babysitting again.
Oh, good point. Given your, unique situation, we'd better keep an eye on you.
Understood.
Thank you. Now, prepare yourselves, everyone.
It's kind of like, you know, if you cloned yourself and then, you know, gave that clone all of your memories, isn't that just you? Wouldn't it just be the same person? And we're about to give, like, this vessel all of its memories back. Oh, well, not my problem.
This looks like Inazuma.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth, but be aware that enemies may react just like in the real world. Please be careful.
Sounds like an immersive experience. It's a good thing we came along.
This is the metaverse, the VR we actually needed.
I don't deserve your protection.
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
And now we're just finishing the job.
All right. Thanks.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your creation. You had a great many memories here.
Is that because this is kind of like his birthplace?
You could say that, in a sense. You'll see why shortly.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge.
Katsuragi.
I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved, too. No mining crew would be capable of this. There's someone passed out on the ground.
Who are you?
You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Are you injured? Huh. Not a scratch. And these fine clothes. Who are you?
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatarasuna.
And the rest is history. Well, it used to be.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Huh?
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor, disguised as a mechanic. The Balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa killed him to put an end to the Tatarasuna incident.
Wait, what?
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Nagamasa killed Katsuragi to end the Tatarasuna incident? Oh, he blamed it on him.
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something.
Why do I hear boss music?
Kabukimono.
Oh.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Whoa, this place is crazy. What the heck?
Huh? What are we doing back here?
I hear voices.
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty, but there's nobody here.
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for us here. We can't stay.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died, and then my dad got sick. He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing too.
But you can't. You promised me.
Yup, we're family now. We're gonna be together forever and ever.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the Balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. Some of the neighbors helped to raise him. After leaving Tatarasuna, the Balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together.
What happened to the child then?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too. The voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
Let's keep going.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
Oh.
I come not to obstruct you.
The jester.
I have been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will.
Oh, maybe I should have brought in a better team.
Are you trying to win me over?
Long-fated rebellion. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Easy. Easy. What is this? Okay, so he met the jester who took him into the Fatui, right?
This place is dark.
Paimon knows this place. It's the delusion factory in Inazuma.
In the original version of events, the traveler once encountered the balladeer here.
This is where Yaimiko came in, right?
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar.
I remember this. It was an unsettling place.
Hey, look over there.
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Signora?
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan. Perhaps you find fighting in the abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the doctor.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
Tartag.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else.
My God.
Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Uh-huh.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me like that. Who does she think she is? Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
I mean, he warned her. He warned her.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes. Please don't worry about me.
Why are you
Oh my
staring
God.
at me in silence? Can't you think of a
Oh,
nicer
come
way to express
on.
yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you.
Why are there enemies?
I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that
Oh.
right, witch?
Why are there enemies in here?
You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
Ooh, that's harsh.
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Gee, I'm cracked. So he met up with Signora, and this is where they plan to take down Inazuma, or at least get the Gnosis. And this is the factory
Arrived in Sumeru.
where he becomes a god.
Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome.
The
I look
doctor.
forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial affair.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible. In the event that a successful connection is established, his body will become permanently bound to the machine, and he will be unable to move independently of it.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of information. Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the Abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge I had gained.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
He's beefing with all his coworkers, man.
The doctor again? That was uncomfortable to watch.
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
He's the doctor. He's behind all of this.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Let's move on.
And
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and puppets?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets?
what are with all these questions, though?
Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, let it come to pass.
Are you saying?
Can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules, with each person being a collection of past experiences. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with the void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self.
Is this the true meaning of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's words? A person can't erase themselves, and even though the original balladeer has gone, this person will live on in his place. Are a person's sins an inescapable part of their destiny too?
I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul-searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon myself. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny, and end my wandering.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours.
Oh?
You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Oh.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright?
Oh! What the heck? Not the dull blade again. Oh. Are you done reclaiming your memories?
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
And he gets his Animo vision.
Die.
What the? What just happened?
This is trying my patience. Have you got any more stupid questions?
Whoa, he's different. Also, what are we fighting exactly? Why did this thing come back?
Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
It disappeared. Did we win?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
Uh-huh.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your old self. Wait, but it was you inside that thing too. What have you got to be smug about?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am.
Now that you've recovered your memories.
You sound like you're concerned about me. But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served its purpose.
So he had to fight himself in the dream?
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Also, what the... Okay. I guess.
Welcome back, Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey. Paimon's exhausted.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it.
You won't go by the Balladeer anymore?
After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who the 6th is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
Let's call it a tactical retreat.
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that. Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish. What you are looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed. How ridiculous.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
So you're telling me that this entire thing, including him seeing the memories and him trying to erase himself into the backup memories to make him it was just a plan of Nahida? That's such... I don't know, that feels like such a reach.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it.
Nahida doesn't see you in that way.
Oh right, I almost forgot. You're the good guys. You're into justice and all that.
Yeah.
Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers. I can live with that.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as well.
Thank you. Let's hope you can find some answers.
I will try.
Traveler.
Yes?
After I dove into the information torrents in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma?
Because I wanted to know what you'd changed.
So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how? Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back.
Please don't make it sound like I'm extorting you.
Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
Sounds like Eula. Sounds like vengeance will be mine.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed, which is why there is emotion in the human world. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
I hope you can give Nahida a chance.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but the most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been for nothing.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Oh, what's he gonna be?
Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you too.
What the?
Why?
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
Uh-huh.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
You want us to decide?
No, Paimon only does nicknames. If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
Wait, what?
Have you got anything?
Oh, what? Wait, name modifier. You can obtain the item from the Archon quest. Please note that names cannot be utilized in this change. Once you have renamed this character, some interfaces in the game going forward will display this name that you have chosen. There's a limit to the number of times you can rename this character, so do so with care. And they gave us the terms and agreement. Yo, I get to rename him? What the? Wait, what did you guys name him? You guys named him Baby Girl? What the? Why? Twinkle Toes? He's baby. Where's this Baby Girl thing coming from? Oh my god. What do I name him? I got it. All right. From here on out, your new name. Oops, sorry. Your new name shall be.
Are you sure?
Yes, I think this will do.
Oh, all right. If you say so.
Is that the quest?
There. Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you trying it?
Oh my god. His name is actually... His name is actually just Andy. Oh my god.
Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one.
What do you plan to do next?
Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Whatever you say, Aunt. I can't take him serious.
Now that your stance
I can't take him seriously
I
now.
believe your future path will change
Oh my
accordingly.
god.
But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible for the Raiden Gokuden's downfall. Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
Very honorable of you, Andy.
I see. That is up to you.
Huh? But if we do that, then...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have been. What's that look for? Don't make that face. I know what I'm doing. That day will come. Alright, we're done here. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
Bye, Andy.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite as fierce anymore.
There were some bumps along the way, but it's all over now.
So we can finally go eat? Paimon is starving.
Thank you both. I hope you will find somewhere nice to go and relax for a while.
We done here? Oh, no, there's more.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi Nagamasa.
You mean because everyone else in the story is dead?
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. He's the perfect fit to be the narrator of the epilogue. The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in Mikoshi Nagamasa's mind for decades to come. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, the people rejoiced, and there was painting, dancing, and drinking. All these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned into red clouds that rallied around the final sunrise that Mikoshi Nagamasa saw in his lifetime. Life is a story too long to be told, a journey that you must walk to behold.
Return to the resting place? Wait, what? Hey, wait, we're not done here? That wasn't it? Oh, oh! 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 Oh!
Relax.
He's Andy! Hell yeah! We got Andy! Oh my god. Why did they let us do this? Why did they let us... Why did they let us choose a name? Oh my god.
It's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back. Wow, great! Huh? Look at the vase.
What about it?
Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? But Paimon doesn't remember there being a cleaner.
That night we stayed here, Paimon bumped into the table after being startled by something to do with the balladeer and broke the vase. But the balladeer erased his existence. He changed the world. So why is this vase still broken?
You sound lost and confused. I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
What?
Huh? Is there someone here talking to us?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance, but for anyone else, who can say? When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate. Like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
Who are you?
History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
What?
The voices disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out of nowhere and saying all that scary stuff?
What? Believe my eyes. Does she mean I should trust my memories?
Anyway, that face is still lying there broken on the ground. Should Paimon go get someone to clean it up? It feels wrong just leaving it there. Just a moment. Paimon will be right back.
Huh? I wonder what else awaits me in the future. Well, I guess that is it. Oh, wait, what is this? What is this? We get... Oh, here it is. Oh! So we can change his name one more time. Nah, I'm good with Andy. We got Andy here. Bro, I might need a C6 him. Our first customizable character. Oh my god. Anyways, that is indeed the end of the Archon quest. Who was that voice at the end talking to us? Is it the next Archon? Why do people just randomly seem to be able to just talk to us? Nahida did the same thing with us last year at the Golden Apple Archipelago. So I wonder if this is the next Archon, or who knows? It might be someone else. Honestly, I thought it was Yaimiko at first. Like the voice when it first spoke sounded a lot like Yaimiko, but I don't think that's Yaimiko. Overall, I would say good interlude chapter, gave us a lot of lore. You know, I feel like we've learned way more about the Fatui and just SCARAMOUCHE's existence, and even about our brother in Conria than we really have over the entirety of the game in itself, like over the past 2 years. So this was very, very useful. A lot of information we have picked up from Sumeru. So very interested in the lore, and I am glad that they are feeding it to us. One thing I will say is, I don't know, that whole thing about Nahida coming up with a plan to, you know, manipulate everything, and like this being her doing like all of it, just seems a little bit of a stretch to me, if I'm being honest. I don't really like the way they did it, and just like SCARAMOUCHE's whole redemption as well. I feel like having Nahida engineer it all is just a bit of a way to like fill in the gaps, really, because, you know, you can say like, oh yeah, this didn't make sense, and then they're just gonna say, oh yeah, Nahida thought of it, Nahida planned it. So, I kind of would have liked it more if like he just erased himself and then they figured out something else to do it with, because she's the god of wisdom. How can she engineer all of this but not like the Samsira stuff? It is what it is. You know, we still get our lore out of it, and I'm sure you SCARAMOUCHE wanters, well, Andy wanters now, are extremely happy that he is indeed a playable character. So I'm not gonna complain too much. Still a good quest, still a lot of lore that we got, still a lot of information, so I am satisfied, and that is my overall review. If you are watching this on YouTube, thank you for making it to the end of the video. This was honestly way longer of an Archon quest than I thought it was. Obviously not as long as the 5-hour Archon quest from last time, but still pretty long Archon quest. So if you did make it through the end of the video, I do appreciate you sticking through it all. Thank you for watching. If you do want to join us on Twitch, it is twitch.tv/Anthony Chen. And if you do enjoy the video, please do consider subscribing and liking, of course, because it does help me out a lot. We are on the road to 100K by the end of the year, and I do believe we can hit it. So, you know, join us. Yep. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Peace.